Hi, I'm Bill, and welcome to my 8th episode of Not Your Crazy Uncle, entitled, What Does It All Mean? So I'm doing something a little bit different with this video. Rather than spending an entire video looking at one issue in depth, I'm going to kind of give you a feel for where I stand on a variety of topics, and I'll illustrate those with some of the popular memes that have been making their rounds. It's what I'm going to call mementary, and I'm hoping to make this a semi-regular event on this channel. So here comes the first one with President Joseph Biden. I sure could go for a mean tweet and a $1.79 gallon of gas right now. This is one of these logical arguments that really bother me. I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but I'm just going to call it the either-or argument, as if there's a choice. Well, we could have a mean president who tweets obnoxious stuff that embarrasses his country and have cheap gas, or we could have Joseph Biden and pay a lot for a gallon of gas. As if we were handed a choice and we could go back in time. Yeah, I'd like to have affordable gas, but I also don't want to have a president who is narcissistic and embarrassing the nation with these posts that are insulting to the intelligence of his country. If we want to be topical, we can't go without talking about Afghanistan and the mess that happened there. And I like this meme a little bit more than the one that's been making its rounds where it just has the presidents pointing at each other. We get Cheney there at the desk as if he's orchestrating the thing, and then the godfather of the entire operation, H.W. Bush. And what really stands out with this one is that everyone is to blame here. We're all pointing fingers. Republicans blame Democrats like always. Democrats blame Republicans like always. But the Libertarian Party is always opposed to foreign intervention. We want our military to defend our land and our nation and our citizens that are on our land, and that's it. And these messes are created by both parties, where there's plenty of blame to go around and there's plenty of people profiting from the deaths of young men and women. And I have a couple of reasons for showing this meme. You can't legislate by executive order unless you're a dictator. Joseph Biden, October 2020. The first reason for showing this meme is that you have to be careful, because even when you agree with the sentiment of a meme, how many people actually fact-checked? When we see a meme that we disagree with, we immediately dismiss it. And when we see a meme we agree with, we immediately jump on board and start sharing it with everyone. While the sentiment of this meme is correct, we are abusing executive orders, and it seems like each consecutive president out-abuses the previous one. That quote is altered and out of context. So I'm not going to bore you with the exact quote or the context in which it was stated, and I certainly hate to defend Joseph Biden, but in this case, he didn't say it this way in this regard. So he's wrong for all of the executive orders, but he's not being hypocritical in what he stated. In fact, most of the executive orders that Biden has pushed through, he campaigned with. The problem is that the president has been given far too much power over the years, and we're basically giving them a blank check now without any due process to set in motion whatever they want. Here's a good one, even without the picture. Stop complaining. If you don't like this country, leave. Got a broken taillight? Abandon your car by the side of the road. Toilet not flushing? Move out of your house. Never try to solve any problems. Just give up. How often do we hear America, love it or leave it? Or if you don't like it, get out. You don't like President Trump? Leave. Right? We heard that. Now Trump is out. Well, you don't like Biden? Leave. It's just a ridiculous sentiment. We're supposed to be a nation built on public will and public dialogue, but unfortunately intelligent dialogue has disappeared. Now we're in finger pointing, with each side telling the other to get out if you don't like it, rather than trying to solve the core problems. And if anybody wants to ask me what the core problems are, it's called the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. But you know who can get out? Congress. Congress was never meant to be a career or a retirement home. Now, I don't believe in age discrimination, and I believe that markets should set themselves so that people can work at what they want, as long as they want, as long as they're productive at it. But this isn't the private sector. This is the public sector. And we have powerful men and women in both parties who have accumulated so much time and so much power so much influence and have so many connections with large businesses that we call lobbies or legalized bribery that the American people across the board suffer. And term limits are a necessity because government positions were never meant to be a lifetime job. Now this one really gets to me and gets me angry because I think it's supposed to be funny and it's supposed to be insulting. I feel bad for parents nowadays. You have to be able to explain the birds and the bees and the bees, the birds and the birds that used to be bees, the bees that used to be birds, the birds that look like bees, plus bees that look like birds but still got a stinger. And if you judge by the emojis, I think this is supposed to say, boy, it's tough now. We didn't have these problems in the past because everybody was normal. Everybody was straight. We didn't have LGBTQ issues when I was a kid. My parents didn't have to deal with this stuff. Boy, I feel bad for you parents today. And I don't think it's actually being sensitive to the issue. So, yeah, I really hate this meme. Now, the next two I actually got from the Libertarian Party website. Biden's border patrol is chasing and whipping Haitian refugees from horseback. Biden's military launched a drone strike that killed 7 children in Afghanistan. If you think for even 1 second that Democrats are any different than Republicans, you are perpetuating the lie. I said in Crashing the Two-Party Party in my video that there's, in my mind, no difference between the parties. There's just a slight agenda difference that they campaign on. But if you look at our history for the past how many decades and generations, we just go a little bit back and forth one way or the other. We swap presidents. We sometimes swap who's in charge in the House and Senate. But there's very little positive change. We just get the two parties pointing fingers, and yet it's business as usual. So Democrats like to say that Republicans are racist for some of these policies, and then they just go and do them themselves. What are libertarian views on immigration, says the next meme from the Libertarian Party's website. That peaceful people should be free to pursue their own happiness without government restrictions. What are libertarians' views on guns? Peaceful people should be free to pursue their own happiness without government restrictions. It's easy at first to be confused by the Libertarian Party because we're so used to the straight Democrat line and the straight Republican line that you forget that there's people out there who believe in one issue one way and another issue the other way. And this isn't being a moderate, this isn't being an independent. It's actually having a consistent belief that people should be free to live their lives as long as they don't infringe upon the lives of others. We're supposed to be a nation of immigration, and we're supposed to be a nation of freedom. But we have Democrats who don't want law-abiding citizens to possess guns in reaction to those who do not obey the law. And then we have Republicans, as I stated in my last video about immigration, who, although they came here or their ancestors came here as peaceful immigrants, want now to slam the door shut on others who want the same opportunity that they've had. Speaking of immigration and my last video, this is kind of a shameless promotion here, but this is a meme that I created and I'm going to post on my Not Your Crazy Uncle Facebook page. United States immigration policy. And on the left we have a Mexican family with an X crossing them out, and European supermodel with the green check mark, meaning welcome on in. And of course that is Melania Trump, who came on a visa as a model, then got what is called an Einstein visa, meaning that you are extraordinary at a certain skill or something outstanding that will benefit the nation. And for Melania it was being a model, although she did happen to have a wealthy boyfriend at the time by the name of Donald Trump, who might have had something to do with that influence. And there you have it. And now we had a first lady who came in through immigration because people found her beautiful. Meanwhile, people want to come here and work and support their family. We don't want to destroy our nation doing that now, do we? Now, you can't have a meme collection without Leonardo. To those of you who read political memes and don't get into pointless arguments in the comments, I toast you if you were able to watch these and even disagree with me on some, if you're willing to comment respectfully. But what I would really like you to do is drop some memes in the comment section, because I do plan on a regular basis, or at least a semi-regular basis, posting more of what I'll call mementaries, or, as I said in the title, what's it all mean? So please, look for some political memes, throw them in the comments, let me know what you think, and please remember that I am not your crazy uncle.